What's up, guys? Shooting this alpha mindset video today. I wanted to get out here in nature. I had been stressing about trying to get this one out, and I was just like, I will not miss. I will not miss. So I hope you guys are keeping track, because the goal is 365 days of alpha mindset. It's probably gonna go way longer than that, because we're in this for the long haul. But these daily videos are meant to enrich you, to teach you something different, to help you think differently about life, because I realized that a lot of times people were programming mindsets, belief systems into mine. And when I finally kind of woke up, I call it, I was able to start thinking for myself and coming to my own conclusions, getting more educated on myself, taking it upon myself to grow. So this is, guys, personal growth. Self-mastery is very important, right? You can't stop learning, because when you learn, this is the part that's going to help you grow and succeed the most. If you don't have a skill, literally people write it, everything that they've done in a book, and you can read a book in like, a week or a month. I'm a slow reader, so it takes me a really long time to read a book. So typically I listen to a book while reading it. So I just bought a new book on YouTube, right? And so I listened to it. I'm almost done. It took me like 4 days. Now I'm going back in and reading it, right? Because the biggest form, the easiest way to learn something, I think I learned this when I was in college, because a lot of people don't realize this, but I had special needs. I had special needs, and it was undiagnosed, and it would just show up a lot of times in standardized testing. But I was able to, I guess you could say, overcome some of these setbacks with other enhanced skills. So one thing that I learned from my professor in exercise physiology, Dr. Bozak, he would say, there's three forms of learning, right? Three forms of learning. There's audio, there's visual, and there's kinesthetic, right? So the way our brain absorbs information is you can hear it, you can see it, and then you could feel or touch it. So when we're coaching in the gym or when we're training, I teach my trainers this, when we're telling someone an exercise, we want to tell them the exercise and describe what we want and what we don't want. We want to demonstrate the exercise while we're telling them, and then we want them to try it. And then if we have to get hands-on and correct them, then we can correct them by maybe getting their back straighter or maybe getting their knees in alignment, right? So that's what it would look like in a training setting. But I utilize this in other settings as well. So when I realized that retaining information, right? So I wasn't as good as other students, right, at doing certain things in class. So for instance, other people could study a lot more effective than I could. I had to really create this huge thing, mainly because I had to master it, right? I had to master the information. I didn't have the ability to be able to take this information in and show up for the test. I had to learn it so well that my brain would never forget it, if that makes sense. So once I learned this 3 set of learning, this is what changed everything for me, right? Because now I would listen during the lecture, right? And then I would take notes, so I would write it down so that I could feel what we were talking about. And then I was also watching what he was doing, following in our textbook. All right, so this helped me start to actually understand the process of learning. And once I learned the process of learning, right? So learning is a skill. Does everyone understand this, right? Learning is a skill. So if you don't have the skill set yet of learning, then you need to teach yourself how to learn. So let's go back. Were you actually paying attention, or were you zoning out, therefore not learning, therefore not moving yourself forward? So if you need to watch this video twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, because that is actually the secret, guys. That's the secret. All the things that I've learned from all of the experts in the world is because I have just found someone who is really, really, really good at it, the expert, the top in their field. I bought their product. I put money out of my pocket and invested in it. Not afraid to say today, 10 years in the game, I've probably easily spent over $150,000 in coaching and development, right? Easily. I'd probably say it's more than that, right? And that's the reason why, is because that most people are just looking to get better for free, but you don't understand learning. It comes with investment, right? So if you're right now, you're consuming this content for free, right? You're consuming this content for free. And some of you guys in this group are like ballers, right? You guys are the cream of the crop. You're actually taking this information and implementing it right away, and you're already seeing results in your life. I can see because I see your Facebook post. I could tell that your mindset is different, you're rewired, and you've actually taken action on the habits, so you put yourself into a high frequency state. A lot of you guys are just looking at the information and being like, oh, that's cool. And then you go back to living your freaking life that you were doing yesterday and nothing actually changes, right? So growth comes with implementation, right? Implementation comes with investment. So first you need to actually take and consume and learn this information, right? So learning the information, how? Well, I got a video so you can watch, right? You're learning by hearing, and then by kinesthetic, you got to put it into action, right? So if I tell you that daily habits are going to set your brain into the great, spot, then you got to do some new daily habits. How many of you guys actually put something into place, right? How many of you guys actually changed something after watching a video, right? If you did, then I want you to leave it in the comments and let me know, because I want to shout you out, right? I'm going to keep my eye on the people who are crushing it, because, we're going to be making swag and stuff like that, modern day alpha line. So we want to give out some swag, man. So if you're one of those people in the group that are like posting your wins, if you're in the group and you're like shouting out other people, or posting some success and some goals that you're trying to achieve, that's how you actually implement, right? So that's how you implement. That's how you make those initial changes. Because a lot of the guys, like right now, if I were to say, hey, I'm going to take 10 of you guys and put you guys into a coaching group. How many of you guys are ready to make that investment right now? The amount of people are going to be small, right? We already know that. Now, there's some people that might be like, oh, my money mindset is that I can't afford this or something like that, right? So because you guys are sleeping on life and you haven't learned the concept that when you spend more money, you make more money. Because when you spend money, you learn new skills, and these new skills help you make more money. It's very simple, right? And you won't actually implement the skills until you pay money, because you won't invest, right? There's an old story that Russell Brunson told about this wrestling coach. He came over to his house, and he was just basically like, gave him a tape of all of his all-star moves, his wrestling moves. And he was like, here's the tape. And he gives him the tape, and he's like, here, give me your wallet. And he's like, okay. So he takes the wallet, he takes all the money out of his wallet, and he gives him the wallet back. And he goes, great, now you're going to go watch these tapes. And he goes, what? You just stole all my money. I'm confused. He goes, Russell, if I would have given you these tapes, you wouldn't have done anything with it. Now that you've made an investment, you're actually going to implement this stuff. All right, so that's the lesson today, guys. There's 3 ways to learn things. That's audio, learning, visual. And then the biggest thing is you got to start putting those steps in place so that you can raise your frequency, get to a point where you become more valuable, meaning that you are more valuable in the sense that you're seeing opportunities and you're making more money. Therefore, you can take the money that you now have created because of your habits, and then you can turn those into investments, into more skill sets. Those skill sets will in return help you then build more value, as in make yourself more valuable, meaning make more money. And then after that, you can reinvest that either into other things like more skill sets, which I would actually recommend, because then you can invest it into savings and stuff like that, and financial accounts, because then you can start to grow your wealth, right? So that's the key, guys, right? What are we trying to do here? We're trying to learn new skills so that we can implement the skills, raise our value, right? And then be able to produce wealth for our families so that we can be protectors and providers. So you guys understand this. So some of you guys are only looking at the videos, not putting it into action, and you're not becoming any valuable. And if you got a girl, well, she's out there looking for someone who is more valuable, maybe someone who is more desirable, maybe someone who is more connected to her, maybe someone who appreciates her, right? And you're in your head thinking you're great, right? Meanwhile, walking around, holding on extra body fat, no money in the wallet, playing video games, gambling, drinking, all that stuff, these vices that are holding you back. But instead, if you took that time, you invested it into learning, and if you are using the excuse that you can't learn, well, now this video just taught you the process of learning from literally, I learned this from a doctor of exercise physiology, and we're talking about high level exercise science. We're talking about in the last year of my education, right? So this isn't just information that we're learning at, Camden County or Gloucester County College here, guys. This is high level learning skill sets that you can use to then learn any skill that you want. Because that's the game, man. when you become passionate about anything, well, you'll go deeper into that topic, and then you can develop the mastery on that topic, and then a mastery allows you to become more valuable, and that value is going to give you a sense of pride, self-esteem, because it's going to make you feel like the provider and the protector that you need to be. So that's why it's important. So drop the shit that you're doing that's not helping you succeed, and start picking up some skill sets that's going to make you become more valuable, make you feel more like a man, and set your family up for success by building wealth and being educated on your future.